Namaskaram. Hello and welcome, hardworking individuals. Imagine your country is fighting for freedom, and the most important ruler of your country asks you to leave your schools, leave your colleges, leave your jobs, and you abide because you believe in him and you want to do it for him and for the country. But one fine day you hear that he has withdrew the movement because there was a violence in somewhere in the country. How would you feel at that point? Would you feel cheated? Would you feel that how am I going to go back to my job, to my school, to my college? Or would you like to understand what the reality was? Well, the very same scenario was then when Gandhiji introduced the non-cooperation movement and withdrew it after the Chauri Chaura incident. And there is another question where we try to find the answer that was it right? Why did Gandhi made a Khilafat movement which was purely a Islamic movement assimilate into the non-cooperation and ask the Congress to join in it? There are questions. Let's try to answer them in this class. By the way, if you want the PDF of this classes for free, you can join our Telegram channel and there you will get it for free. Now, if you have seen our last class, by the way, we are doing a complete modern history series. So there is the playlist available. You should subscribe to the channel and watch it complete if you are preparing for the examinations. And we have already covered this part where we have discussed about the period after World War I, where the Indians felt cheated because they, after the participating in the World War I, from the Britishers side felt that they are going to get in return self-rule. But what did they get in return? They get the British repression as well as the economic misery that was there. Now, the major cause of discontent, if you see at that time, was the post-war economic crisis, where we saw the rising prices, decreased production, higher taxes, as well as the rural hardship. And there was this Rowlatt Act, which was also known as the Black Act, where we see that it was something where anyone could be charged and framed without any evidence, without any trial, without any appeal, without any lawyer, and you will be put behind the bars for 2 years. So that was the Black Act or the Rowlatt Act. And we'll also see that there was this Jallianwala Bagh incident which took place, which really disheartened everyone in India because it was a barbaric murder of hundreds in Jallianwala Bagh. And after that, there was this Hunter Commission report, which was also seen as a whitewash because it did not punish General Dyer, and that worsened India's anger at that time. And we'll also see the reforms of India Act 1909 or the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, which introduced the Diarchy, which failed to satisfy Indian aspirations. Diarchy is basically the double government. They're talking about the provincial government as well as the central government. The Lucknow Pact of 1916, where we see the moderates and the extremists of Congress will come together, and also the Congress and Muslim League will join their hands. The Rowlatt Satyagraha, the first of the Satyagraha by Gandhiji, that was done to unite Hindus and Muslims against the repression, though it could not continue because of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and the rise of radical Muslim nationalists like Muhammad Ali, Shaukat Ali, Abul Kalam Azad, Hakim Ajmal Khan, and Hasrat Mohani, who pushed for militant nationalism. Now, as we were talking about the Khilafat, what actually was this Khilafat? So, after the First World War, Turkey was on the defeated side. And as there is the norm, the side which is defeated, they have to accept the terms of the winning side. And this post-war treatment of Turkey angered Muslims at that time. British dismembered Turkey and deprived the Khalifa. Who was the Khalifa? Khalifa was regarded as the spiritual head of Muslims of power, And there was this Muslim demands that they should retain Khalifa's control over Muslim sacred places and also preserve a significant portion of Turkish territory. But the Britishers were not going to do so because Turkey was not on winning side, it was on losing side, so it has to accept whatever was the decision of the winning side. And for this, against this, there was protest all along the world in the Islamic countries, but the biggest and the most important of that happened in India. That was the Khilafat movement or the Khilafat committee that was formed in 1919. Now formed under Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, along with Azad Ajmal Khan and Hasrat Mohani to pressurize the Britain. Initially it was peaceful, and later we'll see that it became militants, and the All India Khilafat Conference at Delhi in November 1919 called for boycott of British goods. They also invited Mahatma Gandhi to join in it, and Mahatma Gandhi saw an opportunity here. He supported Khilafat issue as a platform to unite Hindus and Muslims through non-violent non-cooperation. So he saw that this is an opportunity where if Hindus also join in it, this will be a joint escalation against the Britishers. Differences within Congress: there was Tilak, who was opposing mixing a religious issue with the politics and doubted the Satyagraha, and others opposed council boycott also. Now the reason for Congress acceptance of non-cooperation was opportunity for Hindu-Muslim unity and the mass participation, disillusionment with the constitutional politics after the Punjab incident, and growing mass resentment against the British rule. The most important reason for the Congress to accept it was Mahatma Gandhi, and he was able to persuade the Congress. The Muslim League supported Congress political agitation and non-cooperation campaign, marking a rare unity of both the groups at that time. There was this phases of the non-cooperation and the Khilafat movement. February 1920 will see Gandhi declared that Punjab wrongs and constitutional issues were overshadowed by Khilafat injustice and announced forthcoming of non-cooperation. May 1920 Peace Treaty of Sevres dissembled the Turkey at that time. June 1920 will see all party conference at Allahabad endorsed boycott of schools and courts. And 31st August 1920 formal launch of Khilafat non-cooperation movement after Tilak's death on 1st August. In September 1920, we see that the Calcutta Congress special session was called for, and there it was approved that the non-cooperation till Khilafat and Punjab wrongs were redressed and Swaraj was achieved. Yes, this was one promise made by Gandhiji that within 1 year we are going to get the Swaraj, and if not, we are going to launch civil disobedience movement. Please remember this, it has been asked in the examinations. Boycott of government schools and colleges, this is something that was included. Boycott of foreign clothes, promotion of khadi, renunciation of government title and services, and also the second phase where the mass civil disobedience and the tax refusal was planned. In the Nagpur session, December 1920, we'll see the program of non-cooperation was officially endorsed, and Congress creed changed, goal became Swaraj by peaceful legitimate means. This was the first time when Congress is asking for Swaraj. Now Gandhi's prediction, if fully implemented, Swaraj could come within a year, and some leaders like Jinnah, Annie Besant, G.S. Kharpade, B.C. Pal left Congress. S.N. Banerjee started Indian Liberal Federation at that time. So this is something that you should remember. These are some of the important Indian National Congress sessions that happened. You should remember them because there were some important incidents that took place and you should know about them. Like the 1911 in Calcutta, Bishan Narayan Dar was the president and Jana Gana Man sung for the first time in 1911. And here you can see all the places where the Congress sessions happened, and most of the Congress sessions took place in Calcutta. This is what you should know. Now, Gandhi and Ali brothers undertook the nationwide tours. There were education, 800 national schools and colleges new were established because we could not leave the students without the colleges and the schools, and leaders like Acharya Narayan Dev, C.R. Das, Lala Lajpat Rai, Zakir Hussain, and others like the institutions like Jamia Millia Islamia, Kasi Vidyapit, Gujarat Vidyapit, and Bihar Vidyapit was formed. Professional lawyers like Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, C.R. Das, Rajendra Prasad gave up the practice. Even in the economic action, if you see, burning of foreign clothes was done, imports were halved, picketing of liquor and toddy shops. Tilak Swaraj Fund collected 1 crore rupees, and non-tax campaigns in Midnapur and Gutnur happened. Strikes in Assam tea plantations also took place, and agitations like the Awadh Kisan Ekta movement, Mapila revolt, Sikh Gurudwara reform movement, all of these are important. And there were volunteers and civil defense where the Congress Volunteer Corps acted as parallel police, and also Ali brothers and Gandhi urged Muslims to leave the army. Now, people's response, if you see, middle class, initially it was there, later they were hesitant. Peasants, large scale participation often turned anti-landlord. Student left government schools, joined national institution. Women broke parda, donated ornaments, and picketed the local liquor shops. And Hindu-Muslim unity, this is something that was remarkable at that time, and 2/3 that were arrested were Muslims at that time. Now, the government reaction, if you see, negotiation between Gandhi and Viceroy Reading failed in May 1921, and later the government banned the volunteer corps, restricted press, outlawed public meetings, and also jailed the leaders at that time. The last phase withdrawal, if you see, C.R. Das was in prison, who presided over Ahmedabad session in 1921, and Gandhi given authority to decide on the civil disobedience movement. And February 1, 1922, Gandhi announced ultimatum for civil disobedience from Bardoli if demands were not met. This is something that you should remember. It might be asked in the examinations. But on 5th February 1922, there was this Chauri Chaura incident which took place. It was in the Gorakhpur, today's Uttar Pradesh. Police fired on protesters, leading the mob retaliation and burning of the police station, killing 22 policemen. Gandhi condemned the violence and decided to suspend the movement immediately. And there was this Bardoli resolution of 1922. Congress called to stop all law breaking and shift focus to constructive work. Promotion of Khadi was done, national education in the Muslim unity, anti-attachability, and the temperance was to be promoted. Gandhi was arrested on March 1922 and sentenced to 6 years. His speech in court upheld non-violence as the highest civic duty. So there we'll see that was the end of the non-cooperation movement, and there were mixed reactions and interpretations. Subhash Chandra Bose said that retreat at the peak of mass enthusiasm was a national calamity. Marxist view, Gandhi and Congress withdrew the movement to prevent a spontaneous revolutionary uprising from going out of their control. Gandhi's own stance in Young India, he has written, he preferred suffering and humiliation over violence, and Conrad L's view on Khilafat movement was considered it retrograde and religiously motivated, not truly nationalist. Again, this is something that you should remember. And what was the reason for the withdrawal? If you see, rising violence and indiscipline among masses. Gandhi felt people had not imbibed non-violence, fear that violence would justify brutal suppression by British, and also movement was showing signs of exhaustion after 2 years of mass mobilization. So this is something that was there. And with that, we have come to the end of the class. We are going to see some of the question answers. If you want the PDF of this classes for free, you can join our Telegram channel. Also, if you have any question, any doubt regarding your preparation, you can call on the numbers given below, and you can ask your question to any of the educator for free. Now, the Congress adopted the objective of attaining Swaraj by all legitimate and peaceful means. Yes. The movement's first phase included boycott of schools, colleges, law courts, and legislative councils. Okay, and civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes were to follow only if Swaraj was not achieved and the repression increased. Yes, it looks like that both 1 and 2 are correct, and you can pause the video and see the explanation. Which of the following was not a major component of the non-cooperation movement? Armed resistance against government officers. Violence was not allowed, so that should be the correct answer. Which event led to Mahatma Gandhi calling off the non-cooperation movement? Very famous Chauri Chaura incident in Uttar Pradesh, Gorakhpur. Well, the next question, who among the following were prominent leaders of the Khilafat movement in India? It was the Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. And last but not the least, evaluate the contribution of the Khilafat movement to India's freedom struggle. Which statement is correct? It provided a model of mass protest and fostered Hindu-Muslim unity, thereby paving the way for the non-cooperation movement. That looks to be more correct, and that is the correct answer. So guys, with that, if you are preparing for UPSC, TSPSC or APPSC examination for one-on-one live mentorship with Deepika ma'am and all other educator, with Deepika ma'am being the chief mentor, you can join our mentorship program. And why you should? Because every topper has a mentor. Well, we'll meet again if you subscribe, and also keep working hard. Today or tomorrow you will be successful. Namaskaram.